Now at 5, at least 15 are dead from a mass shooting at a Texas grade school. Plus, the mother of a Joplin student who died following a 2019 football practice files a wrongful death suit. And we look at ways to protect your family from salmonella.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A late-breaking story. At least 15 people are dead from a shooting at a Texas elementary school. This is KOAM News at 5. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says the shooter killed 14 children and 1 teacher at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. That's about 85 miles west of San Antonio. It happened this afternoon. The suspected shooter, an 18-year-old man from Uvalde, also died. Investigators believe he was killed by responding officers. Abbott says the shooter had a handgun and possibly a rifle. The president is expected to address the nation on this tragedy this evening. It was the deadliest school shooting in Texas history. Look for much more on this story on tonight's CBS Evening News at 5:30. A new FBI report finds active shooter attacks are on the rise, up more than 50% in 2021 from the year before, and leaving 103 people dead, 140 wounded, not including the shooters. The FBI defines an active shooter as one of more individuals actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people in a populated area. Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
As family and friends continue to pay tribute to the victims of the Buffalo supermarket massacre, a new FBI report details the rise in active shooter attacks in the U.S. The agency counted 61 incidents last year, up more than 50% from 2020 and up nearly 100% over 4 years.
When I started this effort 10 years ago, I never thought that we were going to see these kinds of numbers.
Retired FBI Special Agent Catherine Schweit launched the agency's active shooter program after Sandy Hook. The FBI's new report shows active shooter incidents spanned 30 states. 12 of the incidents were considered mass killings, including last year's supermarket attack in Boulder, Colorado that killed 10 people.
This means risks every place in the country, risks in businesses, risks in every place you go, whether it's to church on Sunday or whether it's to the mall on Saturday or whether your kid goes to school.
The FBI also noted the emergence of roving active shooters who targeted their victims in multiple locations over the course of 1 or more days. While overall incidents are up, experts see one encouraging trend in the report: casualties per incident are down.
That's possibly because law enforcement is engaging more with these shooters and getting to the scenes faster. That's what I think.
Schweit urges community members and family members to also be vigilant and report any warning signs to authorities. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
In 2021, law enforcement took 30 of the suspected shooters into custody. 11 died by suicide, while 14 were killed by law enforcement. 1 remains at large. 2 law enforcement officers were killed during the attacks and 5 were injured. We have some showers in the area. Let's check in with Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we've had pop-up showers, even a few thunderstorms sticking around really since last night, kind of hit and miss through the night, and then again kind of hit and miss periods of showers and thunderstorms as we have gone through the daytime hours today. You can see this band is working through. So where you see the yellows popping up on the radar, that is showing at least some heavier amounts of rain. So this stretch is really from Benton County up through McDonald County, Newton County, and then right up Interstate 49 up toward Lamar, and then also Nevada. So we are going to continue with these periods of showers and thunderstorms, especially on the Missouri side, as we go through the next few hours. And then just kind of hit and miss after midnight for us tonight, kind of picking up a little bit again late tonight into tomorrow morning. How long will the rain stick around? We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. The mother of a Joplin High School student who died after an asthma attack during a football practice in 2019 is suing the school. Authorities say Caden Roberts Day died in September of 2019 from cardiac arrest caused by the asthma attack. The football team was practicing inside a Joplin High School gymnasium because of intense heat that day. The lawsuit alleges school staff didn't act quickly enough to help Caden, and the school didn't follow its policies. We've reached out to the school for comment, but we have not heard back. We're going to have more on this story at 6. Also, you'll find more on KOAMnewsnow.com. The Joplin Chamber today hosted a workshop to address the area's worker shortage and pinpoint employee retention issues. A Joplin group called Life Work Talent Consulting spoke with area managers on recruiting, retaining, and attracting workers to Joplin. They say the option to work from home has made it even harder for the area's workforce.
So you're not just competing with local businesses now, you're competing with businesses around the globe, which changes the landscape for the workforce. So we're seeing a lot as far as how the labor shortage has affected local businesses all the way through some of the big guys.
Area employers say one of the biggest issues they face is recruiting people to live in Joplin. We're going to have more on how the Chamber is looking to remedy this issue tonight at 6. Arkansas is one of 5 states holding primary elections today. Among the races are party nominations for governor and the U.S. Senate. We're following those races, and we're going to have the latest on KOAM News at 10. Much of the national attention is on Georgia, where former President Donald Trump's influence is being tested. His choice for governor there, David Perdue, is down in the polls, and his own vice president, Mike Pence, is backing incumbent Governor Brian Kemp. It's been 3 months since Russia waged war on Ukraine. Since then, thousands on both sides have lost their lives, and the United Nations says more than 6 million Ukrainians have been displaced. Today, President Biden and other world leaders underscored their support of Ukraine and pushed for more consequences against Russia. The European Union says it expects to reach agreement soon on a 6th sanction package against Russia. Coming up next, protecting your family from a salmonella infection and how modifying the genes of tomatoes could boost their vitamin power. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, we've told you Jif peanut butter has recently been linked to a salmonella outbreak, leaving at least 14 people sick. Well, Stephanie Stahl has more on salmonella and ways to protect against infection.
Salmonella is a bacteria and a common cause of food poisoning, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Each year in the United States, salmonella bacteria cause about 1.35 million infections, 26,500 hospitalizations, and 420 deaths. Most of these illnesses are due to food. Symptoms usually start 6 hours to 6 days after infection. Most people who get sick from salmonella have diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps and recover without treatment after 4 to 7 days. In some cases, people can become severely dehydrated and need medical attention. Younger children, older adults, and people with weakened immune systems can also have more severe illnesses that require hospitalization. A person can become infected with salmonella by eating raw or undercooked foods that are contaminated. Unwashed raw fruits and vegetables can also carry the bacteria. And raw eggs and unpasteurized dairy can also be a source of salmonella. Also, be careful of cross-contamination in the kitchen when handling raw meat. I'm Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
A person can also get infected with salmonella from handling turtles, snakes, and lizards. Move over milk. Scientists believe the next big source of vitamin D could come from a lab. Researchers say they've edited tomato genes and think the fruit has the potential to produce vitamin D. This could be big news for vegans and vegetarians, giving them a plant-based source, since the 2 best dietary sources for vitamin D currently are still dairy and fish. Infusions of the local anesthetic lidocaine may help those suffering from chronic migraines. The study published by BMJ included more than 600 patients who were hospitalized with migraines and received lidocaine infusions over several days, along with other treatments. Most of the patients saw rapid pain relief and had fewer headaches per month. Common air pollutants are associated with more severe cases of COVID-19. Canadian researchers looked at exposure to fine particulate matter, nitrogen dioxide, and ground-level ozone. They found that people living in areas with higher levels of these pollutants were at elevated risk of being admitted to the intensive care unit for COVID-19. And cutting TV time to less than an hour a day could help prevent more than 1 in 10 cases of coronary heart disease. Scientists from the UK and Hong Kong found that people who watched more than 4 hours of TV each day were at the greatest risk of the disease, regardless of genetic factors. However, time spent in front of a computer screen did not appear to increase the risk of heart disease. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the rising price of diesel fuel and its impact on overall inflation.
Plus, the showers and thunderstorms stick around. For how long? We're going to look at that coming. Well, it definitely turned out to be a wet, dreary day for us today. Periods of showers, even some thunderstorms across the region. We still have the clouds. We still have periods of showers, even a few thunderstorms out there for us right now. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo's just outside of Seneca, Missouri. But expect the clouds to stick around. Temperatures with the clouds and the showers kind of cool. Most of us sitting low to mid 60s. And we're going to hold fairly steady as we go through the next few hours. Kind of ominous looking clouds out there. Nothing really to worry about. But the roads are wet. 7th and Rangeline 64. East southeasterly winds 10 to 15. Of course, humidity is high. Hold into the 60s. As we go through the evening hours, overnight lows near 60 for us later on tonight. But a pretty good band has kind of rolled through over the past couple hours. You can see it pushing from Kansas, Oklahoma into southwestern Missouri over the past couple hours. Now, where you see the yellows popping up, this is moderate, even some instances, heavy amounts of rain, especially once you get along the I-49 corridor. So really from Benton County up through McDonald County, Newton County, we can track over toward Mount Vernon, east side of Joplin up toward Carthage. Here's Lamar, here's Stockton, here's Nevada. So that's where the heaviest amounts of rain are really confined. Still some showers picking up, extreme southeastern Kansas once you get into northeastern Oklahoma, but really just kind of periods of showers and some scattered thunderstorms as we go through the overnight hours. Here's the culprit, upper level low, taking its good old sweet time, pushing through. It's not even going to get through until late Thursday. So until then, we're going to have to deal with those chances for rain across the region. Good news here is not much of a severe threat, which is always nice, especially in the month of May. All right, let's go through the evening. Here's 11:30 p.m. Scattered showers, few random thunderstorms. Nothing too strong, nothing severe. Maybe a little bit of a lull late tonight and then starting to pick up again on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, especially as we go through the morning hours. I really think most of tomorrow, not too bad. We're going to have a lot of clouds. We're going to have some hit and miss little thunderstorms. But I think majority of the day we're going to be dry. 60 to start, 64 by noon. High temp 67, southerly winds 5 to 15. Still, in general, dry as we go into the evening hours. Then as the main upper level low pushes through, so here's after midnight tomorrow night, showers, thunderstorms pick up again as we go into Thursday morning. Sticking around through the morning hours and then finally tapering off late in the day on Thursday. And then we get to dry out just a bit as we head toward the holiday weekend. But still, rainfall amounts, a lot of areas, it's going to be scattered. Just got to figure out where those heavier bands are going to be. I'd say on average, half an inch, maybe an inch of rain. Some areas, some isolated 2-inch amounts over the next 48 hours. Still kind of cool. 67 tomorrow, 63 on Thursday. Friday looks pretty good, back to 74. Heading into the holiday weekend, it feels like the unofficial start of summer, back into the 80s. Could get a few random thunderstorms on Saturday. Severe threat, or at least higher threat, kind of returning right after Memorial Day, but at least we're going to warm up and clear out for the weekend.
Yeah, and highs in the 80s better than highs in the 90s.
Yeah, that is true.
Thanks, Doug. Here's a look at our tower camera sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction as work continues on the KOAM More Power Project. You can check it out anytime yourself on our website. That's koamnewsnow.com/power. Coming up, the national impact of high diesel fuel prices. First, though, we honor a local World War II veteran. Harold Eddy served as a telephone and telegraph lineman for the U.S. Army. The Girard, Kansas native was stationed in Belgium and Germany. Technician 4th grade Harold Eddy, a 4-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, gas prices have hit a new high every day for the past 2 weeks. Diesel fuel is up too. As reporter Carter Evans explains, that covers a lot of ground and hits consumers right in the pocket.
Yesterday I seen fuel prices like $6.39 a gallon.
Imagine paying that for a fill-up of more than 100 gallons.
A regular fill-up would have been, just say 6 months ago,
about $700. Now it's about $1,000.
It's what truckers are facing across the country for diesel, and you're paying the price, according to oil analyst Tom Kluza.
If you're ordering anything that moves by freight across the country, it comes via fuel surcharges. Probably not the worst of the diesel surcharges. That'll come next month.
The Biden administration is now considering tapping a rarely used diesel reserve to help ease prices.
1 million barrels of diesel in this reserve, in the whole grand scheme of things, how much is that?
Very incidental. It'll help, but it doesn't move the needle much.
Last month, the White House tapped the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to help ease skyrocketing oil prices. But with Memorial Day weekend coming up, more than 39 million people are expected to travel, increasing demand for gasoline.
I just don't think there's any magic bullet at the moment. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough summer.
And he says fuel prices could keep rising if any refineries were to shut down.
August looks like it's going to be very active hurricane season in the Gulf of Mexico, where, about half of our refining capacity is on the coast. Anything goes when we get to hurricane season. And that's true for gasoline, it's true for diesel, and it's true for jet fuel.
Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And despite the high cost of gas and flights, millions of Americans are indeed hitting the road, heading to the airport this holiday weekend. AAA reports again that more than 39 million Americans will travel 50 or more miles over the Memorial Day weekend. That's up 8.3% from last year. More Americans are holding on to and driving their cars. The average age of vehicles on U.S. roadways hit a new record in 2021, reaching 12.2 years. It comes as Americans face higher car prices and fewer choices at car dealerships due to pandemic-related computer chip shortages. According to data from research firm S&P Global Mobility, it's the fifth straight year the average vehicle age increased. It's a trend seen over the last 2 decades as the quality of cars has improved, meaning vehicles last longer. Amazon is testing a new delivery service that brings packages to you directly from shopping malls. The online retail giant will use flex drivers who use their own cars to pick up packages from certain mall-based retail stores instead of Amazon warehouses. It's designed to speed up delivery times, and customers will have their choice of opting for the local mall shipment instead of a traditional delivery. And more golden arches are coming down in Russia. The burger chain sold its stores in Russia and said it would leave the country. McDonald's first shuttered hundreds of locations in March after Russia started its military operation in Ukraine, which has cost it about $55 million per month. A final check of the forecast next. Recapping our top story, the Texas governor says 14 students and 1 teacher in Texas are dead after a mass shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde. The shooter is also dead, believed killed by responding officers. At least 14 people were taken to hospitals for treatment of injuries. And again, President Biden is expected to address the country in a couple of hours. You're going to get much more on this story just ahead on the CBS Evening News. And then on KOAM News at 6, details of the allegations in the wrongful death suit filed by the mother of a Joplin High School student who died in 2019. Plus, reporter Bronte Sorotsky breaks down the strategies for businesses trying to recruit more employees in Joplin, and one Missouri mother's search for a solution to the baby formula shortage. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Once again, more rain in the area.
Yeah, periods of showers, even a few thunderstorms as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Kind of hit and miss throughout the daytime hours tomorrow, a little more concentrated during the morning hours, and then kind of picks back up again late tomorrow night into Thursday. Not really expecting anything too strong or severe, so that is the good news. And then we start to warm up toward the holiday weekend.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.